midnight haze, chasing shadows in the darkest maze. Footsteps echo in the empty hall, mysteries waiting on our call. Bigfoot stomping through the pines, aliens sending secret signs. EVPs in the dead of night, ghosts dancing in the pale moonlight. Paranormal for what we bring it to you. Truth behind the veil, gotta pursue you.
Hey.
All right. Welcome. Do what?
Said you caught me dancing. I was like,
oh yeah,
dancing to the song.
Dancing to that good song.
Yeah, love it.
Hope everybody's doing okay tonight. How you been, David? I know you said you were sick a little.
Yeah, I had to take me a little nap earlier. My blood pressure shot to like 168 over 92 or some crazy stuff. So I had to take me a little bit of a nap. Don't know why, but yeah, I feel a lot better now.
You was excited for the show.
That's what I've been excited for a while since she said yep. I was like, woo woo, we're gonna have fun. So Yep.
We got Natalie Smearman. She's going to be joining us here in just a second. Going to be talking about whatever she wants to talk about.
Everything.
I
want to find out because, I've watched her on a bunch of stuff, but, a lot of the things I've watched her on, she's been on there several times. So I've never heard her origin stories. I want to hear what got her into this, what started it off.
Yeah.
Was it the Bigfoot side? Was it the paranormal side? What was it? So I'm interested.
Well, Natalie is a paranormal investigator and key member of the Relic Films team, where she bridges the gap between field research and cinematic storytelling. She's a lifelong experiencer who began encountering the unexplained at age 3. So she spent over a decade studying Bigfoot investigation methods before taking her work into the field. She currently lives in Florida. Natalie is a driving force behind several upcoming projects, including, can't wait for this one, the highly anticipated film, The Vanished.
Yes. Yeah. And if you want, there's still tickets for that. If you want to, you go to paranormal411.org and there's a little link there you could click and buy your tickets.
Yeah. It's January 31st. So she also did some investigations in the infamous land between the lakes. And when she isn't filming, she co-hosts with Paranormal Paul on Paranormal Among Us and Blondes and Booze podcast, sharing her insights and high strangeness on cryptids and the shadow people and all kinds of stuff.
Ooh.
So we're going to bring her on.
Hey,
there she is. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing good. So
great to see y'all.
I actually, Jason, you wasn't able to make it, but we actually got to do a little paranormal investigation with Natalie before for a little bit.
That was a lot of fun.
Yes. Yeah. It was a blast, especially when the portal started doing some funky stuff and making some really crazy noises and stuff.
Yeah, that was weird. And then we go in. That was crazy. We could definitely tell that story because that was a hoot.
Yeah,
that was a first.
that was the Cades Cove, right?
Yeah.
We
went to Cades Cove.
Yeah, I couldn't make it.
Yeah, that was. I was not expecting that.
Yeah. The spirit portal is a pretty neat little device, and we've actually had some pretty good experiences with it, where we've actually been able to have conversations or, with entities. So it was pretty neat, but that night something was trying to talk to us. And then as we was walking off into the graveyard, something did start in there. You could hear two things talking back and forth. It was like, oh, they're gone. We can talk now,
Yeah.
And I was mad because I didn't start my audio recorder. Why? I know better. Bad, David. Bad.
We all do it.
I know it. Get just excited.
Yeah. But that was crazy. I mean, as soon as we left that church and walked out to the graveyard, you could hear two spirits talking back and forth, having a conversation.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we went back in to start recording and they just were like, okay, they're back here. Then we came back out to the graveyard again and heard another voice. And then what we thought were like footsteps, like,
Yeah, like
really
really
loud
boom.
footsteps, but it kept doing it over and over again. It was like, what is happening? So we finished up out in the graveyard, which was phenomenal because you had equipment that picked up entities in the graveyards, little stick figures.
Yes.
And there were two of them around these two graves, and it turned out to be children.
Yep.
They were hanging around their graves. And then we walked down a little further, and I got a disembodied voice going, and I was like, yes, and then nothing.
Hmm.
And then when we went back inside and went back into the church, the footsteps, what we thought were footsteps, was coming from your device.
Yeah. That
And it
portal.
was like, what is happening there? And and for those of you listening or watching, it is a device that David, you created, that you made. And it had like a battery pack, and it was like there was a wire clicked in. The wire was unhooked, the battery was pushed away, and my backpack was thrown on the ground.
Yes. It was
Wow.
I was like,
insane.
oh, somebody's not happy.
Yeah, they didn't like what we were doing for
They
sure.
did not like it. But I had my phone recording while we were outside. And when we left that night on the way back, we were listening to it in the truck. And we heard, after we went out the second time, after we started recording, we heard a woman's voice, a stern woman's voice. We couldn't figure out what she was saying, but she was not happy.
Oh.
And it was almost like she was like, who are these people? Let's get them out of here. There goes my light. Like, okay. And so she was angry. And I think she was the one like, how dare you come in here thinking that you can just walk in, and then unhooked it and threw my backpack. I was like, okay.
Yeah. If it was busy, I would swear someone did it. But I mean, we were the only ones there. I mean, it was
Which church was it?
It was the Primitive Baptist Church.
Yep.
So it's on the left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's on that
that.
gravelly dirt road
Mm-hmm.
back there. And we had gone there a few months prior, and we got a response back, but it was that air was so heavy, and I kept getting this overwhelming feeling like they were angry that people were writing on the walls. And when I asked, that's when we got that a hard knock. And then when we went back that night, and I had asked, do you remember me? I heard a yes. So they remembered who I was, and then they decided to have a full-blown conversation, and then weren't happy about it.
Yeah. That's what was crazy. That's why we ran back in, because I was like, oh, I didn't start, the audio recorder, but we walked by that window with the SLS camera because we was going out there to the graveyard, and you could literally, we sat there and heard two people have a conversation. I was like,
yeah.
Oh,
man. I did get some of the footage from the camera, but it didn't show much of anything. It was just short.
Yeah. Yeah. Michelle just did like 3-minute shorts or something on that, I think 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Michelle.
She's like, she's in bed right now going, yes.
So how did all this start for you? I mean, I know you seen ghosts when you were like 3, or seen strange stuff.
So yeah, when I was 3, my great grandmother, who I had never met, kept appearing to me. And that started about 3 years old. And the house that we lived in always had spirits going in and out. So nothing bad. They were just visiting, coming in and leaving. One night, I was very, very young, probably 4 or 5. I I woke up, walked to the bathroom, and thought I was talking to my dad in the hallway, and it was a man. I know it was a man. He was like, "Are you okay? Is everything okay?" I said, "Yeah, I'm just going to go back to bed." Well, the next morning, my parents go, "Who were you talking to last night?" I said, "Dad was in the hallway." And he was like, "No, I wasn't."
Hmm.
Oh,
So there was an entity there talking to me to make sure I was okay. So I thought that was kind. I was
yeah.
like, no, I never I was never afraid of
Right.
that because I knew it was friendly. Whatever it was, they were watching out for me. Throughout the years, I just I dealt with, because we lived in the same house for a very long time. And then afterwards, I would just experience different spirits as I went along. I never really fully investigated it, but it was more or less like, okay, you're there, I'm here, we'll just mutual respect. About 14 years ago now, I started, well, let me go back for a second. I grew up in West Virginia, and everybody talked about Bigfoot, and we all thought it was a joke. Nobody took it seriously. We actually thought it was, grown-ups trying to prevent us from running into the woods. And that was their story that they went with. Everybody laughed.
Right.
So we went in the woods anyway, and we drank a lot. So that there was that. So,
I mean, no good story has a
No.
better ending than we drank a lot.
we drank a lot. So
Beer.
yeah, it's fine. It's
Yeah.
just the parents. They're just, causing a ruckus. So moved around, came to Florida in 1992. And back then on the news, there were reports of Bigfoot. And I'm going, this isn't real. And there was a full-blown news report. And as it went on, I was interested, but I was like, this is so crazy. And so about, I would say 14 years ago now, I really just dove into it, because when I don't know something well enough, I really just dive in. So I started reading books. I was watching different programs, documentaries, the shows on TV, finding Bigfoot, Bigfoot, whatever, and, Alaska Killer Bigfoot. And so I noticed patterns. I noticed things that, people were doing. Either it was wrong or right. And I try to take notes and learn from that. I never really went out and investigated, because at that time I was in a marriage that was just not, it wasn't healthy. And so after the marriage ended, I decided I'm going to do something for myself. And I went to the Ocala Bigfoot conference in spring of 2024. And there I met all these wonderful people. One of them was Adam Davis. And we talked, and we, just really, like, I got to know him better. He got to know me, exchange stories. And then he wasn't the only one. RPG, huge fan of him. He was really like gung ho, like, yeah, you've got to get out there. You got to do this. So I got a lot of encouragement there, and met so many wonderful people in Florida that do investigations. And so I was like, I'm going to go out and do this. I'm going to go out. So I did something that nobody should do.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to tell you right now, learn from my mistakes. So I decided, there is a Skunk Ape headquarters down in South Florida. They have a campground behind the Skunk Ape headquarters. I decided to do a solo camp investigation on one weekend. And the first night, it was me. I was alone in the entire area. And then there was another couple way across the way. I could see their fire in the distance. But I did something. I wanted to lure whatever that was out there in. I'm vulnerable. I'm small. I'm a woman. I'm not a threat. Let's see what happens. I had a knife. I had bear spray. First night out, I went to bed, fell asleep, and I got woken up about 1:30 to a chirp, a bird's chirp, which at 1:30 in the morning, a bird is not chirping.
Nope, they're asleep.
They're very well asleep.
Like
So I'm
most people are.
okay, this is not normal. Let's see what happens. So then about 3.5 minutes later, large footsteps are right beside my tent. And then it sounds what would be a child's, like a toddler trying to talk. And I'm going, what is that? And of course, me not thinking, I didn't turn on my recorder to record any of this.
Yes. Like you said, we all make those mistakes.
We
right?
all do it. We all do it. So we get, and I'm like, okay. So as by the time I sat up and looked out, because I wanted to be super silent, not scared away, it was gone. So the one thing you always do when you're investigating is go, talk to the locals. So I went the next morning and started talking to locals. And one lady up there at the Skunk Ape headquarters, she goes, you know what? I have a friend who's knows all the animals. Let's find out. Because I was getting, that's a skunk ape. Those are ghosts. I'm like, let's just really dive in. Well, the lady goes, no, that was a male Florida panther in heat. I have a friend of mine who I work with who runs a wildcat refuge down here. And I texted him and he goes, yeah, that was a male Florida panther in heat. He goes, my Florida panther here will chirp like a pretty little bird when it's ready. And he goes, it makes the weirdest childlike sounds. So I had a male Florida panther, and I joke about it now. I'm like, it saw a cougar in a tent, and
Right.
you know,
He was going,
yeah, so yeah, it was crazy. So I was like, okay, that's cool. The next night there was a ton of people in camp, so nothing happened. I went back a month later to a gathering. So we watched alligator wrestling, and then Florida Bigfoot researchers were there, and I went out with them and we went out into the swamp and saw this structure. I don't want to say it was more or less this very large tree, and it was it was removed, and then it was balancing on something that was ripped and just balancing there. And this tree had to be 30 feet long. I'm like, nobody's going to do that in the middle of a swamp. And I mean, we were calf high of water. So we had some really cool experiences out there, which made me want more. And I was like, at that point, I was divorced. I was like, what am I going to do? My kids are getting older. I need something for myself. So, I'm going to be all alone here soon. So I'm like, I'm going to get into this a little bit further. So I'm like, I kept studying and kept researching. And then in February, I got a phone call from Adam. And he said, hey, would you be interested in filming a documentary with me? We're going to be in the Smoky Mountains. And I'm like, yeah. He goes, okay, I'm going to get you in touch with the producer. His name's Greg Ogles. And can you be in the Smoky Mountains in 2 weeks? I'm like, yeah. So I met with Greg. We hit it off immediately. And then we filmed. It was like immediate. We just all meshed together. It was such a great experience. The Vanished film is phenomenal. I mean, we had activity every single day and night. I couldn't believe it because I'm like, this is not normal. To have activity, you go out every single night and have activity. That doesn't happen. And I even asked Greg, I'm like, is this normal? He goes, no, this is not normal. And I'm like, okay, so we got some fantastic footage. We were investigating 2 unsolved missing person cases that were very similar in a way. The Dennis Martin case and Mike Heron case. And so because both the families were very much ingrained into the forest, and they were like campers, and they were out there on a regular basis. And these two individuals disappeared without a single trace or a sound or a witness, nothing left behind. We decided to go out and investigate, and we did a deep dive into documents and what was, recorded and then removed. And then now the FBI files are out. They're redacted, but we got to review those. We got to interview a lot of really good people. And then we got some great footage that goes along with what we think might have happened. And this is incredible footage. So I cannot wait for y'all to see the
can't wait.
film. It is. I'm getting goosebumps just talking about what we found, because I mean, you hear about things like this, and hear witnesses going, "I heard this" or "I saw this," and you're like, "I get it, but I wish I had been there to see it," because I'm listening and I'm like, I want to experience. And then we go out to film, and we see it, and we experience, and we feel it, and we're like, "Is this happening right now?" And we caught it on film. And I'm like, this is incredible. So I cannot wait for everybody to see it, because the premiere is January 31st, Gardendale, Alabama Civic Center. The tickets are on sale now. Paranormal411.com. Go to the website. It's on there, so that you could get the tickets right from there. So that would be amazing. And then if you can't make it, it will be streaming on all the major platforms. And so we'll be making sure that everybody gets those notifications out.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I'm excited that we got to go, or that we're going to get to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have, not only is it going to be cool, it's going to be so much fun.
Yes. Yeah.
You were talking about Greg. He is an excellent documentary filmmaker. The last one that we seen, I think it was Return to the LBL.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man, that was one of the best ones I've ever watched.
His vision and what he can capture is just incredible. And there was a couple times that he was giving me direction. I'm like, are you sure? He goes, "Trust me." And I did, and it was flawless on film. I'm going, and you don't realize it.
Yeah.
And you're like that. And so, the Land Between the Lakes, what you saw, and if you didn't see it, definitely you've got to see that one. That is incredible what they experience a Bigfoot right there. It was.
I think that was one of the best. Me and Jason's talked about it several times. I think that's one of the best Bigfoot documentaries I have ever seen.
Yeah,
ever.
and make sure, if you haven't seen it, watch it and then turn your volume up, because you're going to hear them growling.
That growl is crazy.
Yeah. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
But we just filmed Return to Land Between the Lakes, Making Contact, in November. And that, another one.
Even more.
It was insane. And we made contact. Just to let everybody know, we made contact. We did exactly what we set out to do.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And what was so cool is that when I asked Greg, because when I have ideas, I'll throw them at him. I'll be like, "Hey, what about this? What about this?" And every idea I had for an experiment that we could do, he's like, "Do it." I'm like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "No, let's do it."
Yeah. That's awesome.
I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "You do understand this might be a little dangerous?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay."
That's funny.
So it was phenomenal. It allowed us to get out into the forest and to really hone in on what others experience in this area, because Land Between the Lakes is very, very active, and we don't want to go in there and give out false reports, because that's the last thing that we want to do. I know a lot of filmmakers or the TV shows, it's for ratings.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely want to go out there and just saying, this is what we saw, this is what happened, and this is what we're experiencing. And we experimented in different ways of taking larger groups or taking smaller groups. One time we went in singing, and it's different things like that we do. And how do they react?
Right.
What was happening? And so we did go and we rustic camped in a remote area. And that was the best thing that we could have done, because it allowed us to really just go out and explore in these areas. And and the one night that we went out, and we realized from the beginning of the week, what mistakes were we making? What is not working? And then we made a list of what isn't working and said, okay, let's do the opposite. And that's what we did. And when we went out with an all-female team of investigators, 2 cameramen, we had Greg and we had Jim, and we said, nobody is being armed except for Greg. I had bear spray, and that was it. So we walked in very vulnerable. And then we made, because earlier in the week, I got growled at in camp. And as I was walking to the bathroom, it was at night, because there was like just a hole, and just like it wasn't really a toilet. It was just a hole with a little lid. That was it. And I was walking, and I was by myself, and I was like, I felt something like a presence, and then all of a sudden I was like, is that right? And I stood there and I was frozen. It didn't do it again, but what it did, it was almost like, hey, I'm here. You stay there. Don't come over here. It's like, I'm not going to attack you, but you just need to understand you have your place and I have mine. I'm like,
Right.
I'm down. I'm down. That's totally fine. So it came back and I was like, okay, I just got growled at. But it was great because now I knew what that growl sounded like.
Right.
So when we did our investigation, walked in and I said, Greg, I'm going to mimic that growl. I'm going to do 3 of them back to back. And he said, do it. So I did it and immediately got a response. Boom, and the ground is shaking. I mean, it was like an earthquake, kind of pounding. And it came from on top of the ridge where we were. And I'm like, I'm going to do it one more time. And I did it again. And again, boom. And then we had movement coming in from all around us.
Oh, wow.
And I'm going, okay, here we go. Here we go. So
game on now.
Yeah, I'm like, game on. I'm like, so Kristen and Amy both had therms. I'm like, just keep a watch around us. We had Greg with a camera, Jim with the camera, and myself and Jamie and Melissa were just using our just own feelings and visual, because the moon was almost a full moon. So we didn't need flashlights or no red lights. We just wanted the moonlight just to illuminate where we were. We were getting movement from all around. We could hear it, but we couldn't see it. Nothing was showing up on the therm. And then I looked at the top of the hill and I was like, I said to Amy, I said, are you seeing that? I said, there is a light illuminating behind that tree. I said, it's like a bluish white light. And we're like, yeah, we see it. I'm like, we need to keep an eye on that. Just keep an eye on it. It's not, we don't see it anywhere else. So Melissa did a howl and we started getting more pounding back. But this time it was rhythmic. Almost like a Native American,
like a drum,
rhythmic drum.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So then Jamie or Melissa goes, I don't feel good. I said, okay, stand behind me, directly behind me, and see if I can block some of that energy. So I was trying to block any energy. She started to feel fine. She moved out. And then we're walking around a little bit. And then Jamie goes, I don't feel good. So she gets behind me. Then she's okay. She moves out. I'm looking at this light at the top of the hill, and I'm like, it's getting brighter and more defined into a perfect oval. I said, it's a bluish white light with little sparkles around it. I said, and they're like, we're seeing this too. So I'm like almost in disbelief that I'm seeing this.
Right.
And
You're
I'm
like,
are y'all seeing this? And they're
Yeah.
like, yeah, we're all seeing this. Every one of us see. I'm like,
give me some confirmation here. Yeah.
So then all of a sudden we hear a weird dog start to bark behind us. Now, behind us is nothing. It's field, it's forest. We are in the middle of nowhere. There's no homes, there's no nothing. And there's a weird dog. And I'm like,
Interesting.
I'm like, what? I'm like, so now we're getting movement. We've got the light. We have the pounding that stops and starts. And this dog. I'm like, okay, we just need to have our head on a swivel right now. So then Greg goes, I'm going to do a growl. I said, all right. He lets out a big, long growl. And then all of a sudden, I look up at that light, and what I refer to as a crawler comes out of that light, crawling on all fours and long, lanky arms. And I didn't see any fur, but all I saw was this dark, lanky figure on all fours moving back and forth.
That to me, there's a lot of things that I don't really get scared of. That right there, I think if I saw it, I'd be like,
I'm just standing there and I'm going,
beat on something like that. Like,
yeah, I'm trying to stay calm because we are right now surrounded. And I said, I have a crawler at my 12 o'clock. And they're like, we see it. And then another one appears out of that oval, and I'm like, and they're both going like this, and I'm like, I have a second crawler at my 12 o'clock, and then all of a sudden a third one shows up, and I'm going, this isn't good. I'm like, everybody, we're getting in closer. We're like, okay. Now all of a sudden Melissa and Jamie both say, we don't feel good. They're like, I don't feel good. They're nauseous, headache. They're getting lightheaded. I said, get behind me. And I'm trying to block, and I'm trying to watch them, block them. Now I'm worried about them, that something's going to happen to them. And then I turn just for a second and turn back, and Greg goes, ah, and he takes his camera from one hand to the other. I look, and one of those crawlers is charging us. And I'm going, oh no. And I grab my bear spray. He goes for his gun, and I lunge towards it, spray it. And for those of you not understanding about bear spray, it makes a loud noise.
Does it?
And then it shoots about 15 to 20 feet. And I hit it, and it stopped. It stopped it because I wasn't sure if it was going to stop or not, because who out there's bear spraying crawlers,
right?
And I'm like, I don't know if it's gonna work. And then all of a sudden, there's Greg with his gun, and this thing stops and retreats. We have to retreat, and so we're pulling back down the road. And as we get back down the road where our trucks were, immediately we hear a woman scream from the field behind us. Kristen turns around with her therm, and she goes, I have a large bipedal creature standing there watching us from the field.
Whoa.
And I'm going, oh boy. And then all of a sudden the movement starts moving inwards. So we're like, get close, everybody get close. I look to my left, and there are red orbs in front of my truck. I look to the right, and there are red orbs on the other side of the other truck. So now we've got crawlers up there. We've got movement all around us, orbs, this bipedal creature behind us that screamed, and that weird dog is barking off and on. And I'm going, and then Greg goes, my battery just died.
Oh.
And Jim goes, my battery just died too. And my backup battery died that was in my pants pocket. And Kristen started having problem recording And I'm like, here we go. I'm like, they're throwing their energy at us and it's draining our batteries. And Jamie and Melissa are like, they're still not 100%. They're not feeling real good. And then I look to my right, and I swear to you, I have to sit there and rethink this over and over and over again. A very large Bigfoot walked behind my truck and disappeared like that into thin air. And
Wow.
I'm going, what is happening right now? I'm like, and we're like, do we stay? Do we go? We have no batteries left. We're getting surrounded. We're having two of our members continuing to get sick on and off of this illness. And so Greg goes, listen, I'm calling it. This is now a safety issue. We've got to go.
Yeah.
So we get in our trucks and we went as a group. I'm like, we're staying as a group into the truck. I'm like, get in the truck because we left the windows down and the keys in the vehicle. So in case we had to make a quick exit, the vehicles were already ready. Get in the vehicle, and then we get sick again. I feel like my chest, something's sitting on my chest. My throat starts to close up. I feel just crazy. And I'm like, we got to get out of here now. And we just took off. We got to the top of this tiny, tiny dirt road that we got in on. And we got to the other dirt road and made a left. And as soon as we made that left onto the other road, all of our symptoms went away. So it was insane, to say the least.
So, overly overstoked Oscars ask a question in here. Said, do you think that banging on trees does bring them in?
I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know. Every time I've done a tree knock, I haven't brought anything in.
Right.
However, when I did that growl, that mimicked their growl, that's
said
what brought them
something.
in. But it was an aggression.
Yeah.
That's an aggression. I can tell you that we were in an area where we felt their presence, we heard them, and it was just it felt like an overwhelming sense of anxiety and stress from them. Like, who are you? What are you doing? And we just happened to have the great Martin Groves there. He was phenomenal. I got to, go out and do an investigation with him, which that was just on my bucket list. I was like, I could die right now. And he goes, told me and Melissa, walk up the hill and start singing or humming. We're like, what? He goes, yeah. And we started singing, and it went from a very high intensity anxiety feeling to completely calm and serene. And he goes, Martin goes, they've not seen females in this area really do investigations. They were very curious. Your singing just calmed them right down. So whenever at night I would go back to use the restroom in the camp area where I got growled at, I would sing all the way there and nothing would happen, and I'd sing all the way back. And so nothing ever growled at me again. So that was cool. So that was, you learn from those who have been in the field, you learn from that. So if anybody is in a situation where you're not really sure and you're getting a little anxious or unsure of the area, start singing something very nice. Nothing from Metallica or Alice in Chains or Disturbed, but something nice.
Yeah, that's what Foot Clan, he says that he goes out and he talks to them or just tries to talk English, I guess.
Yeah.
And he says he has good experiences with them. So
that's fantastic. Yeah, because you can go out and have just really have a positive mindset, positive energy, sending those positive vibes into the air and talk to them or sing to them. You know, the gift giving that I do like a coin or like something cute or something, not food, because you don't know what you're getting.
Yeah.
You know, a bear or squirrels or whatever. So, you know, you want to give something from the heart. And just the other day, Sean and I were out in the forest of North Georgia, and I left real shiny quarter. I sat there, I meditated, I just really honed in, just my mind's eye to see, you know, what was going on in the area, which that was such a cool experience. And then I left a coin in that area. Now, thank God we had his Jeep, because we couldn't have gotten back where we were without it, you know, a big 4-wheel drive that was lifted. So that was such a cool vibe.
Wow. Sorry, I had to run for a second.
That's okay. I understand.
I was like, so you
Whoopsies.
yep, gotta go. So what does that make you? Where do you stand on the fence then? Because you watched one completely disappear out of sight.
Mm-hmm.
And you've seen these crawlers where they almost seem like they come out of a portal.
Mm-hmm. That's my take on it. Yeah.
Right. So where do you fall? Do you fall in the, well, I'm pretty sure I know, but where do you fall? Do you fall in the category that they're both in the spiritual world and in this world, kind of like the Native Americans believe? Or is it more, you know, interdimensional type stuff?
So at the very beginning, when I started investigating, I truly was on the side that they are a biological being. They are of an ancient ape, and going out and investigating and going into the forest and going into these remote areas and experiencing what I have experienced and seen, I am now changed that idea, and I'm more on they're interdimensional, they're spiritual beings. They can move in and out of our dimension, because we're very one-dimensional, and they can move in and out. And the fact that I witnessed that Bigfoot walk and disappear into thin air, and anybody else that I would have heard that, I'm like, are you sure about that? You know, maybe it was a light, maybe it was this. The fact that I witnessed that and I can't explain that, I can't tell you anywhere. I mean, I am explaining exactly what I saw.
Right.
And I'm going, and this thing was massive. It could have taken my truck and flipped it. I was just like, I'm like, what?
Down, started doing bench presses with it.
Oh yeah, he was just like, oh, this is nothing for me.
Yeah.
You know, get this out of my way. But not that they were flamboyant or anything.
Right.
You know, that goes in line too with it, you know, just disappearing with these researchers when they cast their prints. There's only one print.
Yeah.
Or one or two. Where did it go after that?
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
it should be there, but it's not. So
right. And it's like, why did the prints end? Why is there only a couple? Why, did I see it? Then all of a sudden I didn't see it. It's gone. It should be there. And so it's really interesting that, you see these prints and you think that and then all of a sudden you see it happen. I'm going, that's why.
Yeah. Whatever
that it did to just disappear, which I don't fully understand. It's just incredible. It was an incredible experience to be able to see all of that and witness that.
And y'all caught quite a bit in the films and stuff too, but it was something that, you have researchers that are straight flesh and blood They
Mhm.
won't even take anything else, right? Anything's
Right.
even said to them, they just dismiss all that stuff.
Yeah.
But in the films, y'all have seen and seen firsthand, like you was talking about the lights, the orbs and stuff.
Yes.
You know, for thousands of years, the Native Americans have talked about the orbs that also accompany these Bigfoot.
Yes.
And they were always said, oh, well, that's just, it's just their stories. It's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yeah.
and I find it amazing how it's still happening today, but people don't want to admit it,
Yeah. The orbs are there. We got to witness these orbs when we were filming The Vanished. We did a side experiment after filming just to see what these orbs were. How would they react? And we decided no cameras, because Lord knows we did not want to film this. We had, and you can ask Greg and have him do it, on January 31st at the premiere. He started singing and rapping. Yep. We started dancing. We were laughing. These orbs started to come closer to us and get brighter. Now, it was incredible because it's like they're reacting. Are we entertaining them? Are they like,
Right.
these fools are just, who are these fools? Because, I mean, we just were having the best time. And then we got real quiet. And then they started to move away. And so it was really kind of a cool experience to actually witness that and to do that experiment and going, you know what? They're reacting to us having a high frequency of positive emotions. And so there is some intelligence behind it. Either there's an intelligence controlling it or it is an intelligent being.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
Absolutely. Yeah. Cause I mean, that's what gets me about it. Jason and I have not had the opportunity yet to get to go out and do any investigations with Bigfoot. We've always just done paranormal side of things. But all of the research and then all the awesome people that we've got to talk to over the years, while we've been doing this show,
mhm.
you start getting this understanding of, what this, or at least what you think of what this creature could be, because, when you don't dismiss the things that other people dismiss, you're like, this, this thing is more than just, I mean, obviously when it's here, it's physical, it's leaving marks, it's leaving DNA, it's leaving things here, but it's more than just that,
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I had one experience myself, and where I actually got to see one, and I will tell you, it's pretty fascinating to see, like you was just saying, how massive these things are.
Massive.
And the one
Yeah.
that I saw, he moved. I mean, he was going, and I
Yeah.
was in a big truck and doing 65 miles an hour, and he crossed the road before I could get to him. So he was massive.
Yeah, it's incredible because I mean, of course, you hear these encounter stories, and people telling that like, this is my experience, and that they're telling the truth. The passion is in their face, and you're like, and until you experience
Yes.
how big,
Yes.
and you're like, this is insane.
Yeah. It's like two people
And
standing around the side.
like,
I mean,
oh, I'm like this. Yeah, you're the top predator.
that's right.
I want
Oh,
to
Lord.
I want to ask you what did you think before you saw Bigfoot versus after? How did it affect you?
Oh, I have a whole different respect. I've studied, I have really just dove in as far as I could go because I had a lot of, you know, class B sightings. I heard them. I heard the whoops, I heard the knocks, I heard the screams. You saw a print. You get all of that, but then to see, and you're like, this is something that is just magnificent. You have this being, and to have it not only there, but then disappear like that, that is something that is beyond us, you know. And also, after coming back from Land Between the Lakes and everything that we experienced there, you know, I come back to what I refer to reality, you know, the normal 9 to 5 job and family and everything. And it's like what we all think that we know, we are very, very ignorant to what is really out there. And there is so much more to what is out there that we think, you know, our internet or, you know, our phone or what we see is everything. It's not.
Right.
So there is so much more to understand. There is so much more for us to explore and to investigate and to just, you know, to have these little pieces of experience. And I really try to tell everybody, if you have an experience and you have, you know, something that happened to you, share it. Definitely share it. Talk about it. Because what I may experience, and if I feel nervous to talk about it, so is somebody else. But if we share our experiences, then now we have evidence.
Yeah.
Now we can put the pieces together a little bit easier and a little bit better.
Yep.
So, you know, it's okay. And, you know, it's okay for somebody to say, I don't believe you. That's okay. Skeptics are great for the community to help us better understand and to go out to get more evidence. So Bigfoot Bates, what's up?
You know, I think healthy skepticism is good for everybody to have. You know, I mean,
Absolutely.
we don't want to
Absolutely.
just blindly go in and say everything is, you know, when we're going in and actually looking for ghosts and stuff while we're doing our investigations, you know, to say everything is a ghost is not good, and it's not doing you any good or anybody else. But
Mhm.
but then dismissing things that are outright not, you know, at the same time is doing the exact same thing, just the opposite.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and so I think that some of these people are just overly skeptical. Oh, that's, you know, when we did our show, our live show, when we was out in Coogee Booger, just right down the road over here, where Bigfoot has been spotted and
Uh-huh.
all kinds of stuff. Before the show, Jason filmed me in the front seat of the truck before we got out and started setting up and everything for the live. You know, we just talked about the lore of the place and what people's stories were and things like that. Jason posted it onto our Facebook and our YouTube, but we had, what was it, Jason? 50,000 people sitting there. I think it's even up to 100,000 or something
It's
now.
over 100 right now.
Is it? But you know, quite a few people that have lived here their whole life. Oh, I've hunted those woods and I've this and I've that, and there ain't nothing there, and y'all are just a bunch of liars. And I'm just like, well, I mean, you know, hey, whatever. You know, your truth is your truth, I guess.
Mhm. Well, you know, it's funny you say that, because when one of our first outings in the LBL, we decided to have an investigative group go in, and then 10 minutes later, we had a security group come in, and Sean was one of them. And when they came in, the security group, they had long guns, military outfits, and they came running up the hill in formation and went into certain areas. And then that's when all the activity stopped. And you know, when you have a creature, whether it be cryptid or not cryptid, if they see somebody with a long gun with a whole outfit that's military, you know, they're going to run, they're going to stop, they're going to be like, whoa, okay, no, I'm good.
That's it.
You know, we get it. So I think hunters may not have the experiences because they're carrying weapons.
Right.
That is going to push things away because they don't want to get hurt.
Yeah.
For when we walked in, we weren't doing that. We were in regular clothes. The investigators were women, and Greg had a small handgun. That was it. So we really went in very, very vulnerable.
Yeah.
and walked in a way that we were not threatening.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that helps because, you know, you have a lot of stories that people talk about where they were at the campfire with their family and they were singing songs or just making s'mores or just doing whatever.
Yeah.
And they're just curious, I guess, by nature. And they came in just to see what's going on, you know, and then they would have their experiences. And, you know, it wasn't, I think most of the time it's not anything negative. It's just curiosity, you know.
Very much. We had activity in our campsite every night. Now, I will tell you, one of my experiments that Greg allowed me to do was to spray male and female pheromone perfume around the campsite. And I did that with a brightly colored, I went to the dollar store, got brightly colored dog toys and sprayed it really, really well and hung it up near the campsite. And that's when we started getting activity. And we got rocks clacking or rocks being thrown in the water. We got whistles. We got Greg, one of the first nights, brought a big bin of water. He had a shower. And then I thought I was woken up by somebody playing in the water, like splash, splash, splash. And I'm going, the next morning, I'm like, who is playing in the water? They're like, nobody was playing in the water. I'm like, you sure about that? I'm like, somebody was playing in the water. Because I heard it. And they're like, that sounds like Bigfoot activity. They would play. And I think what happened is that they were curious. We were not threatening. Let's see what this is.
Yeah.
And every night we had something happen, come in. And I'll tell you, the folks that were in the tents, me included, our tents were not bothered at all. But if you had a camper, you got bumped.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. And, but yeah, our tents were fine.
Wow.
It's like they knew, oh, okay, this is a harder surface. I could kind of.
Yeah, this is a harder surface. Let me see what I can get in. Boom. And it wasn't a hard boom. It was just a little shove. Like, we're here.
Yeah. Just remember, I could do this. No.
Yeah. Remember what I can do to you. Just
That's right.
saying. Made me want to, you can order a pizza if you want, bring it over.
That's it. You got a 6-pack. No.
Yeah. We're friendly.
That's it. Do you think that these things, while they're here, that at any time they ever go up into trees? Because, I've had a lot of people talk about that. Sometimes we look too much on the ground for footprints and stuff and don't look up enough.
Yes. Absolutely. I do believe that they go in the trees. And when I go out and investigate and I take my therm, I make sure that I therm up into the trees to make sure that if there's anything up there looking down, I'm fully aware, because they could just, jump right down. But yeah, you're right. A lot of people look forward or down for footprints, and I look up too. Yeah. Definitely look up.
Yeah. Yeah. That's something that makes sense to me. I mean, if they're,
very much
what they
very
are,
much.
why wouldn't they be up there?
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's safe.
Yeah.
There's other predators down below, or they can also ambush something for food. Because, especially in Florida, we have deer, wild boar, we have coyotes, we have panthers, we have even alligators. That's all a food source.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also, I mean, they're definitely some sort of primate when they're here.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, what do primates do? They climb trees.
Yeah. And so they definitely, they have ways of hiding, and I mean, they do it very, very well. So you really have to look and investigate and look at everything. And even, something small, if you find something small and then something small a little bit down the way, it's all evidence.
Yeah.
I always carry a little notebook or, and always take pictures and, have something for scale, even a little measuring tape that you get at the dollar store. I always have that with me as well. Because that, It's funny. I went to St. Louis for the Crossing Realms conference, and we were doing some paranormal investigations at Emmaus Asylum. And so I wasn't expecting to do a cryptid investigation, but there was a group of us that stayed at an Airbnb across the main road of the asylum, and we're sitting out there at night, and we're getting growls, we're getting whoops, we're getting knocks, we're seeing orbs in the tree line, and we're like, I wasn't prepared for that. And so the next morning, we started walking around, and we're still hearing movement. And we're just walking and walking, and I'm looking, and I look down, and I'm like, is that what I think it is? And I moved a couple of leaves, and it was a print. There were the toes, the arch, the heel, everything. And I'm going. And so we recorded it, took pictures, did, measurements as best as that we could. But also there's an app on your phone that you could take measurements as well. So we had that. And, Paul was with me. He saw it too. He was the one taking the measurements. And it was just incredible.
That's
and
amazing.
I'm like, yeah. So, you might think that you're going out for a paranormal investigation and end up doing a cryptid investigation, on the fly. So
yeah, I remember seeing all the posts on Facebook.
Yeah,
when y'all went there, it was pretty interesting.
it was. So definitely want to go back, but I know I'll be with Blondes and Booze in March at Emmaus for having the wrench crew Adam lost his house right before Christmas. And so we're doing an event at Emmaus where we're going to do paranormal, cryptid, and UFO investigations that night. And I believe somebody's going to be there with a God's helmet. So if somebody wants to do that, that's going to be really cool.
Ooh.
I did that.
That's one of my bucket list. I either want to buy one or just try one. I don't know.
It was
I'm going to do it.
When we were at LBL, Trey Hudson had one, and I asked him if I could do it. He was like, yeah, absolutely. And I said, I want to do it right before we go out on an investigation to see if it can open me up a little bit more. And so when he hooked me up, it was a little cap, and then you have the goggles, and then you have the little earplugs, and I'm laying in a chair, and I'm just, I prayed and I meditated beforehand and just opened myself up to whatever that was there. And I was like, and my experience was insane. I was like, holy cow. So do we have time for me to tell you?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
We actually, do you want to take a break? And we got a commercial we can play.
And you just keep on going.
Whatever you want to do. It's up to you. I'm good. I got my mushroom coffee here.
Go ahead. Keep on going then.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So when you go through and I don't fully understand, but it stimulates the brain, the right and left sides to have them connect better. That's the layman's term. And so I knew others who had done this experiment before, and had experiences which were fantastic. So I really didn't know what to expect for my own. And so immediately I started seeing vibrant colors, just vibrant colors. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to kind of take this all in. And I was meditating and praying as I was going through this. Then all of a sudden, like that, I was transformed and just like immediately, very quickly. And I felt somebody pushing me in this apartment in a very large city. And it was in the future. And the sky went from blue to red.
Wow.
And then I was seeing architecture and shapes in these buildings that were, just beautiful. And just the detail of these buildings and the architecture were it was fascinating. And then all of a sudden, I'm in a pasture and it's bright green. And then all of a sudden, I'm back in the chair and I'm hearing something out of the right side, and it sounded like growling. I'm like, okay. So then I'm back all of a sudden on a road, driving on this winding road through this green pasture. Then I start to time hop. I went from like to 1970s, where the old big Bonnevilles and this family was standing there in their yard. Then I went to the 1920s, and this couple was all dressed up and they were out at the club and they're laughing and drinking and smoking and having a great time. Then all of a sudden, I'm in the 1940s and I'm in a living room with this family, and they're sitting around the large radio listening to a program. And then I was in the 80s, and then all of a sudden I was back in the architecture again. And then I'm back in the chair. And I felt and heard someone walking towards me. And now during this experiment, nobody's supposed to come near you at all. They're supposed to stay far enough away that they can see you, but not be anywhere around you. But I'm feeling somebody walking up, and they're walking towards me, and then bump my chair, and my chair bumped. I'm like, that was weird. Maybe they just forgot I was there, or somebody's playing a joke. So I didn't think anything of it. I was like, okay. And then I am back in a car, and I can tell you exactly where I was. I was on a road in Follansbee, West Virginia, and I am in a car, and I look over, and this woman's sitting next to me, and she had this auburn hair, light auburn hair, really pretty. And she looks at me and she goes, too fast, too fast.
What?
Too fast.
That is crazy.
And I'm going, what's too fast? And she went, And I said, who are you? She went, and I'm going. And then all of a sudden I'm out of there, and I'm where we camped by the water, but I was down by the water, standing on the rocks, and in front of me is this petite cryptid. And it was a female, and it looked kind of between a moth woman and like a dragonfly. And she was just standing there, very, very petite. And she's just very stoic. And her wings that came out had a design like these spots. Like, they were pretty, but they were spots on her wings. And she's standing there like just as cute as can be. And then I'm back in the architecture place again.
Whoa.
And then I'm seeing all of this architecture and just buildings and winding roads again. I'm traveling through these winding roads. And then all of a sudden I'm back in the chair, and I'm hearing something to the right of me again. And then I'm back in the architecture, and then all of a sudden I get a tap on the shoulder, like, okay, you're done. And I'm like, wait, what? I take my goggles off and the earplugs out. I look at Trey. I said, yeah. I said, is something wrong? He goes, no, you're done. I said, that wasn't 40 minutes because the whole thing's supposed to be 40 minutes. He goes, yeah, it was. I said, no, it was like 10 minutes.
Wow.
And he's like, no. And Adam Davis was there. He goes, no, Nat, we've been watching you. It's been 40 minutes. We timed it. And I'm like, what? I said, who walked up to my chair and bumped into it? I said, it shook me. They're like, nobody touched the chair. Nobody walked up to you. I said, were you hearing growling in the forest? They're like, no. And I'm like, wow. I just sat there and I'm like, what?
So this is like a psychedelic without the psychedelics.
Correct.
It might be laced. Did he lace some DMT around the headband or something?
So
It only takes 15 minutes DMT. Just let you
Oh,
know.
okay.
yeah,
I don't know how I know that, but
it was insane. It was insane. And once it was done, I mean, I felt like I just came out of this great adventure. And it was a 40 minutes that felt like 10 minutes. And I'm telling everybody my story, and other people had done the God helmet, but they're like, we've never had that kind of experience.
Hmm.
And so it was, I mean, everybody has their own separate experience.
right.
And I have to say mine was, I would do it again, but I don't think I would do it anytime soon.
Right.
I think I would have to be in a different stage of my life to do it again, to see what would happen. But the lady that was telling me too fast, I'm like, my entire life is too fast. So I get it. I get it.
Understand.
I understand. That's your message. So, okay.
That it just makes me want to do it even more.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is amazing.
Yeah. And I mean, there was, you have these little electrodes around and you don't feel anything. You feel absolutely nothing. You just feel the cap, you feel the goggles, and you feel the earplugs. Other than that, you just lay there and you just let it go.
Wow.
So that's funny because I've had a similar experience, but not with a God helmet.
What was it, David?
Yeah. What was it, David?
It was mushrooms.
Oh, okay.
And but what's funny is that, like you said, it something that you want to do again, but at another time.
Mm-hmm.
And mushrooms are the same way because it's an experience, right? People call it tripping, but it's not supposed to be a trip. It's not supposed to be done recreationally.
Mm-hmm.
It should be a journey.
Yeah.
And you learn things from these experiences, no matter how it is that you do them, because I mean, there's other ways of doing them. Solid darkness.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of other ways of getting into those altered states. Some are just easier than others. And, and it's always something that, is meant for you to learn from.
Mm-hmm.
And so in the times that I have done the things that I have done, it's been years before I had done them again, because something will happen and then you're supposed to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to think about it and then try to understand what it is that it's trying to tell you.
Right.
And then you do it again, and then you just continue the journey.
Yeah, truly. And I'm happy. I'm thrilled that I did it.
Yeah.
And, we did go out and do an investigation afterwards, which was incredible. We got a lot of activity there. We got to see, it was really cool because we split up into two groups. It was near a graveyard. It was near where there was more than one person murdered. And so we went out and investigated, and, it was a giant loop. So part of us went to the right, others went to the left. We met in the middle and went back around just to see what we could experience. And Jamie and Sean were in my group, and Jamie goes, we get to this one area and she goes, I don't feel good. And she goes, there's something here. And I said, well, the power lines are here. I said, are you feeling that? She goes, I don't know. And then her sister pulled up the therm. She goes, there's something hiding behind a tree peeking out.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay. And so Sean went up a bit on the road and he got growled at. Came back. We all moved forward and it moved out from behind the tree and started walking. And we heard this creature walking, and it was a bipedal creature. I did see it in the therm. It resembled what we refer to as Bigfoot, and it kept walking, paralleling us. And we walked a little further and we saw this little access road down. And at the very, very bottom, it was pretty far away, there was a single camper down there with a campfire. And we're like, okay. So we just kept walking and it didn't follow us. And we kind of made the assumption that it was watching this camper to see if it could get any food. And here we come up thinking, and it probably thought, hey, this is my territory. that camper's mine, go away. And so we didn't have anything else happen. We did hear movement in the forest, and we did catch something very, very strange on the therm a little while ways up the road. And Amy goes, I don't even know how to explain this. She goes, it looks like a witch's hat floating on the forest floor.
Yeah. Wow.
And I'm going, what? And so we all tried, and she goes, it's gone. Well, luckily, she had her laptop with her the next day, brought it in, showed it to us, and it looked like a witch's hat floating along the forest floor and just floated away. And I'm going, I don't know what that is.
Right. That's insane.
I can't even begin to explain that. Don't know. I got nothing.
I can't honestly say no, nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, we'll just chalk that up. We'll just say, that's an evidence that we can't explain, and we'll just keep that on the back burner.
Yeah. Definitely something paranormal of some sort.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Hats don't just go floating across the.
Nope. No, they do not. And Sean says he thinks it was a gnome. It looked like one of those little garden gnomes.
Okay.
With a little hat and everything.
Yes.
It just floated.
Yes.
And,
you know what? I think that's very possible.
Yeah.
I believe they exist. They're not just folklore.
What, gnomes?
Gnomes, yeah. Gnomes.
Yeah.
Fae.
Yeah.
It's all real.
Let me pull that comment up.
I've had a Fae experience. So my wife and I actually have had a Fae experience. So what was crazy is after it happened, we were driving home, and I looked at her and I said, they were Fae. And she goes, oh my God, I'm glad you said something. She says, I thought I was going crazy. She goes, they were not normal.
Yeah.
So we both had the same experience or the same thought, but we just didn't. We waited till we started coming home before we even talked about it. So it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it was very interesting. We had some good experiences there. That place is a definite hot spot, massive amount of land to explore. And I'm sure not everything has been explored.
Well, I think, like what you was talking about earlier in the show, from Jason and I doing a lot of paranormal investigations over the years and stuff, you run into that, right? Sometimes you'll get something. Sometimes you go back to the same place 5 times and get nothing.
Yeah.
And so I think that you go to a place enough times, you're going to find something sooner or later.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Cause we always try to go in with good intentions and just a blank slate, not going, we're going to go look for specifically this. It's like, what are we going to find? Right. And we're open to whatever that we find. Yes. And I think that matters, because if you're only looking for one thing, you're going to miss so many other things that are out there. And these little things like, a hat or a gnome floating across the forest floor. We could have missed that because we're looking up in a tree or something big for Bigfoot. No, we look for every little thing.
Yes. Well, and something that actually happens too is the fact that you go in with certain set intentions, and you could just manifest things that weren't there originally too. So by setting any kind of intentions on a place, when you manifest, you can manifest those things there, and then get an experience that really wasn't meant for that area. But now it's there. It's permanent.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because all the paranormal and the cryptids and the UFOs, they all overlap in some way. If you go, searching for a cryptid, you're going to get some paranormal activity or even UFO activity. Yeah. So that's one exciting thing when I go to Emmaus, because you've got the trifecta there. It's just in a bowl, and it's not heavily populated. It's an abandoned asylum. with a few houses around, and that's it. And it's in a bowl, and it is just popping. Now, they don't advertise it for UFOs or cryptids, but they're there. Really cool place. So we'll be there in March.
And that's for the benefit, right?
Yeah, that's for the benefit. And so it's going to be such a great event. And you can go in and search around the asylum, which is hopping. I do have a funny story about the asylum.
Yes.
We did. So the asylum has several different buildings to it. And so we went in because there was one area on the third floor that people keep seeing entities walking back and forth. Well, Greg goes, there's somebody on that third floor. And Krista goes, no, there's not. That's the entity. And he's like, no, I'm telling, I just saw somebody walk past. So he's like, no. I'm like, well, we'll go up there. And we went up there and there's nobody there. I said, let's go back at night, and we're going to go up there. So I said, I want to go in that one room where that entity is. And I want to go alone because it's a large room with a bathroom. Now you got to figure, paint's coming off the wall. There's holes in the wall. There's holes in the ceiling. It's not good. So I went into the bathroom and there's this giant hole in the wall and in the ceiling, and it's dark and you could see a little bit of light and whatever. So I started talking and I'm like, okay. I said, I can feel your presence, but if you don't want to talk to me, that's okay. You don't know me. That's fine. So asked a few questions, got nothing. They didn't want to talk. I'm like, okay, I'll move on. I go to walk out, and from that hole in the wall, you hear, huh? I went, what?
Oh.
I said, hello. I had my phone. And now the guys are out in the hallway and they heard me go, what? They're like, holy crap. I go to walk over and I hear, ah! I'm like, oh God. And I look in, there's a cat. There's a cat.
What would you have done if you would have jumped out and ran at you?
I'm like, kidding. And then here comes EMR and he's running in. He's like, what? I'm like, there's a cat. There's a cat. And this cat is very well fed with a collar. I'm going, there went our investigation. I'm like, we're done. We're done. We can't do this now. We're done. So the cat followed us all the way down to the first floor, meowing, wanting petted. So we go to the other buildings, and this one room has a life-size clown in it, just laying on the floor. And I'm going, oh, I hate clowns. I hate them. So,
makes me think of Pennywise.
Oh yeah. So it's just laying there, and I'm like, who's clown? Why? I'm like, that's not necessary. So we had the dowsing rods, and I said, I'm just gonna see if there's somebody here. Well, immediately we got a response, and I said, are you a patient? No. Are you a nurse? No. I said, are you a doctor? Yes. I'm like, okay. I said, are you here because you feel obligated to take care of your patients? Yes. I said, do you like the clown being here? No. Do you want it removed? Yes. And I said, do you like people coming to visit in here? No. I said, are we interrupting your patient care? Yes. I said, do you want us to leave? Yes.
Wow.
I mean, it was definitely, it was like, yes. Yeah, there was no questions. Not like, well, maybe like, okay, no, it was like immediate. And I'm like, I am so sorry. We will leave you to your patient care, and I'll let the owners know to get rid of the clown.
That's amazing.
And that was a really cool experience. But the doctor was just like, y'all are just wasting my time here.
I've got other things to do.
I got other things to do. I got patients to take care of that can't leave because they can't, he really, and I just felt like, wow, that's dedication to patient care.
Man, we have, it's been probably over a year since we've had her on as a guest, but she's a nurse, and she has some pretty darn good stories about, she'll come in on a late night shift or something and go into someone's room, and they're like, you're in here again? And they would describe somebody that had just been in there to check on them that is no longer a nurse, and they've been deceased for a little bit.
Oh,
Wow.
And she had actually worked with them, you know.
that
And
is so cool.
yeah. So I mean, that's interesting, you know, when someone's actually getting attended to by something from the other side.
Yeah. You know, they are so passionate about their career and their field and their craft that they still come back.
Yes.
You know, I got to take care of you. You need help.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
pretty cool.
They've dedicated their whole life to it, and I guess part of their afterlife too.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You know,
Uh,
I give them credit. I would be doing something else, you know.
I would, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be haunting a bar room or something fun.
Yeah,
You know,
just something fun.
someone would walk away and their beer would be gone when they got
Yeah,
back.
right. Who drank my beer?
That's it.
Let's look at the cameras. It
ghost
just
in the corner.
disappeared.
Yeah. It's the drunk ghost in the corner. Don't mind him.
What do y'all talk about? I'm having a ball over here in the chat room.
I know. I hear you over there. Click, 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 click.
You hear me clicking?
Yeah.
No, we got some good people in there. I'm just having a ball with them.
Awesome.
Paul sent me the image. Oh my goodness. Holy smokes.
Is that the footprint?
The image of the clown.
Oh yes, the clown. Isn't that disgusting? That's the clown that's laying there. It's the size of an adult human. It's disturbing.
That's insane.
I'm like, why?
Yeah. Why? I'm asking that question right now. Why?
Yeah, why? And so when I guess it was a prop used in a Halloween thing and they just left it as part of the experience when you go through to scare you. And I'm like, the spirits are there. It's fine.
Yeah. You don't need the props.
You don't need the props. You got the spirits. And we did get growled at a couple times.
Really?
Yeah, we got growled at. BMR got growled at. We were in a room doing the dowsing rods, and we got growled at a few times. And it's just somebody that just did not want to be messed with.
Leave me alone.
I was like, okay.
Paul says he's pretty sure it's a trigger object.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's triggers somebody anyway, right?
It triggers me because I don't like clowns.
Oh, so do you have a phobia?
You know what? I'll tell you. When I was a kid, my mom put up the lampshades on the ceiling.
Uh-huh.
It had clowns on it.
Oh no.
And I remember just sitting there like, ugh. It's just like, it was just so weird. And so she was like, that was mine from when I was a kid. And I'm like, I hate it. I just hate it.
That's called coulrophobia.
What is it?
Coulrophobia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fear of clowns.
Fear of clowns.
Yeah.
Definitely. I don't know. Do you watch scary movies or anything?
No, you know what? Here's the funny thing. I hate getting scared.
Do you?
I don't like scary movies because they scare me. And
she doesn't like the jump scare stuff. Like if
I don't like it.
Yeah, she's
Now I can go into a forest at night with no lights and hunt and go looking for cryptids. I can go into a haunted asylum or a haunted museum and be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But put me in front of a scary movie where there's jump scares or like, no, I'm done. I won't sleep for days.
So I guess you're not a fan of like It.
No.
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 We
What's
just got
the new
finished
series
watching.
out?
It's called Welcome to Derry.
Yeah.
It's the new series on HBO. It is fantastic.
Okay.
It's like the prequel to the It movies.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah. The first season's already gone. But
I get scared pretty easy myself. David knows I've been scared a few times, and
he's funny.
we were out in a cemetery had all the equipment out. I was filming, doing all kinds of stuff, and we seen little sparkly orbs all around some tombstones.
Mhm.
And then my light goes out. The batteries died. My flashlight. I'm like, oh no. Then the camera dies. Everything I had, the batteries went dead. But I did come up. I have it on video. I did come up like this before it went dead and caught a red orb. And
Right at the tree line. Yeah.
right at the tree line.
Yeah.
And David was off back in almost to the wood line where the
No light,
cemetery ended.
no nothing. Yeah.
No light, no nothing. And I said, David, I'm going back to the truck. I couldn't handle it. I've always been scared of the dark a little bit.
I was like, Jason, we've only been here for like
10
20
minutes. It was
Yeah,
10, 15 minutes.
He's like, nope, I'm gone. My lights are
I'm
dead.
done.
Everything died. I'm gone.
Yeah. See, it helps when you have moonlight, really good moonlight, because then it
Yeah.
illuminates everything.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I think we could have had moonlight and he would have still been gone.
So I'm going to the truck. I'm in the truck.
Yeah, I'm
Whenever you get
done.
ready.
Well,
And
when
then-
we was
Red
at the
orbs will
farmhouse,
get you.
when we was
Yeah.
at the farmhouse and he filmed an
wow,
actual
yeah.
entity walking up behind somebody and then turning around and walking away.
Oh,
And he was screaming the whole time, oh my God, oh my God.
Everybody else was screaming too. They seen it. They was looking at my screen, but but that truly was amazing. And it didn't really scare me. It was just
Mhm.
surprising
Yeah.
that it came up to the doorway, looked around like this, then turned around and walked back out. And it was a full figure of
He
somebody.
caught it on FLIR. Yeah.
Yeah.
wow.
But instead of recording, he was taking snaps.
Pictures. Yeah. I had one of those, I don't know, kind of the one that takes pictures. I thought it recorded. I just got it. And I just pressing the button like this, recording, thought it was recording, but it was just snapping pictures.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Got some pretty decent pictures out of it.
That's
but-
good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it was pretty wild.
Jason's he's getting better. When,
Yeah,
when
I'm
we
getting
first started this, he wasn't he wouldn't come back to my house because the house I lived in at the time was very haunted. And when he heard his first EVP that come out of that house, he was like, "Nope."
I'll see you, David. I gotta go.
Yeah,
Gotta go.
He was
Took
like,
me 2 weeks to come back.
Gotta go.
You remember the where was it at? Dang. Oh, we were at the Coogee Booger at the well. Man,
yeah.
I was sitting with my back to the woods.
I think that was a Bigfoot.
It was something, but it was
Wish
something
I'd
was
brought my
throwing
FLIR.
rocks.
I wish we would have brought the FLIR, or we would have brought the no, we brought the FLIR. We didn't bring the night vision goggles that night.
No, but I mean, we were under a shed, and it wasn't nothing coming
couldn't
down from
fall.
above. It
Yeah, I couldn't
was
fall in.
coming from the side, and it was hitting the stone wall. And I told David, I cannot sit here.
One of them
anymore.
whizzed right by his ear, and you heard it. You could hear it hit the wall, pop. And he jumps up and he's like, "That's it, Dave. I've got to go. I can't sit here." I said, "Okay, let's just switch places.
Yeah,
We'll switch places. I'll sit right there, and you sit over here."
Yeah.
I didn't leave that night. That was good,
Proud of
But-
you.
but I was shaken up with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
they'll
you-
tend to mess with you a little bit.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was weird.
but Clarence says it sounds like it was scared of you, Jason.
No, I don't
Got
think
some-
it was.
Got some mist that night too.
Yeah, we got a mist
foggy.
on camera.
Oh,
But
that's
twice on the
always
camera, there's a mist that came up right in front of the camera lens.
Right
It
in
was
front of my
weird.
face.
Yeah. He told me, he
Yeah.
goes, "Dave, is it
Isn't it?
cold down here?" And I was like, "No, it's not cold." He goes, "Breathe." And I'm going, it's like, yeah, you can't see my breath. So,
Yeah, that mist that comes in out of nowhere,
yeah.
it's creepy.
Yeah.
Because you're like, because that now you can't see.
Yeah.
Something could be creeping right up against you, and you're like, okay.
See, that's where like one of those crawlers would come in. Now you would see Dave walk on water. I'd be gone. you know, Bigfoot, ghosts, that don't bother me, but something that
What?
crawls like that's just
It's
creepy.
creepy.
I mean, do you think it's Bigfoot?
No,
What do you think that is?
You think it's something
absolutely
else?
not. It
Think
was not a
something that's
Bigfoot.
with them?
Now
Hmm.
we afterwards we're like, what was that? You know, because we all, I mean, we saw it. Greg and I saw it really good, and you know, others as it was up on the hill, they were like just going, you know, and we're like, what is that? And so it was far enough away that it was just like it was. You couldn't really understand what it was until it got closer. But Melissa Adair goes, I think I know what it is. She sent us a video. It was an AI video. And then we had some pictures. And she goes, I think it was a rake. And
Okay.
I'm going, oh God. And so we were when we started looking at the video, and again, it was AI. And so, but it was based on what people's encounters were. So that's what was like, okay. So, and as it was like walking, you know, doing what I'm like, that's not it. Then all of a sudden it got, these dogs started barking and it got down on all fours and was going like this. And we're like, that's it. That's what it was doing. That's what it is. And we're like, oh my God. I'm like, that's what it was.
So
Wow.
that's weird.
Oh.
That's weird that was in, like, at the same time he was having this experience with the Bigfoot too.
Yeah, it was like, it was very, very bizarre because it was all there.
Yeah.
It was like, how is this all connected?
Yeah.
Why is this connected?
Yeah.
You know,
They might be
you
coming
don't
from the
hear
same
about
dimension.
things. You know, you don't hear about these things together.
Mhm.
Now, Jerry, who's a part of NCI, he mentioned he has activity on his property
Yes.
all the time. He said that he captured on one of his cameras a Bigfoot and a rake together.
Hmm.
And he goes, I've never seen that before. And I can't tell you how many times we were on a podcast where he had to run out because his animals were freaking out and he had to go, you know, run out into the field and something was there. And they catch stuff on the cameras all the time. And all the eyes and spirits and whatever. Just a lot of stuff there. And he goes, that day he saw, what he saw was a Bigfoot and a rake together. And I'm going, and now we saw that in the LBL. You saw
Interesting.
Bigfoot activity and then the rake. And I'm going, they're connected somehow. I don't know, but they're connected somehow.
Yeah, that's interesting to me. And then, you know, you had all the stuff that was happening with the with all the equipment dying too, you know, and you get
Yeah.
that in the paranormal that happens to us all the time. You know, we'll
Yeah.
be somewhere and just equipment will just start, just batteries draining,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So you had that paranormal side with Bigfoot and then this rake. I mean, that's very interesting.
It is incredibly interesting. And it makes you want to investigate more, like what more is out there.
Yes.
And how are y'all connected?
Yeah.
Like what's happening here? And this is not, you know, Martin Groves and others who investigate this area quite often. They said, yeah, there have been reports of rakes and Bigfoot and Dogman, and it has just been such a cool experience to hear this feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it is really someplace I definitely want to go back.
Yeah, Jason and I want to go there. I mean, we're not too far. We live just right over here, you know, just south of Knoxville, Tennessee. So
Yeah.
it's not too far away. We just have to head towards Nashville.
We're going to go. We're going to go.
Yeah, I want to go.
I'd like to go with y'all, Greg and them, but
That would be awesome.
We're
'cause
definitely gonna go.
We want to go back. It was such a cool experience. I mean, even if we're not filming, just to go back and just go, okay, what more can we find?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. The next time we go back, I'll let y'all know because that'll be a ton of fun. Do some rustic camping and
Yes.
you know, see if we can, spray some more pheromone colognes around and bring in some new friends.
Yes. So we're just going to have some s'mores and sit down and talk.
We're just having some s'mores. We'll order pizza. It's fine.
That's right.
Come on over.
You want a bologna sandwich? Rustic camping. I remember camping. We would go camping when I was younger, and that's all that they ever
Cityco, right?
in Cityco. Yep, that's all they'd ever bring was a couple loaves of bread and a bunch of bologna. That's all we had to eat was bologna and bread.
Well, we had a ton of beer too.
Well,
If you went with Monty Brown,
usually
you had a ton of beer.
Yeah,
it was fun.
Yep.
It was usually for his birthday on the 4th of July. He said everybody in the U.S. celebrated his birthday because it was on the 4th of July.
Funny, that's my daughter's birthday.
Is it?
That's my mother's birthday is the 4th of July. It's wild.
Yeah. She goes, I get fireworks and chocolate on my birthday.
Yeah, look at that. That's amazing.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Everybody celebrates.
God. So, yeah, this is so The Vanished was awesome. Filming this the Land Between the Lakes was awesome. We have some more filming events coming up. We're going to be doing paranormal work. We're going to be doing some other cryptid work. So yeah, it's going to be a ton of fun.
So, paranormal. So are you going to actually like a place, or is it out in the woods, or is it?
It's actual. We're going to go to several places.
Gotcha.
During a week, and our goal is to stay the night and to do a full paranormal investigation to see what happens. There could be times where, let's see what happens if I pretend to go to bed and the cameras are on and see what happens, or go into the basement and have a full EVP session and see what happens. So yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of different stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I love doing paranormal investigations. It's just so cool because, they're behind it all. They want a voice.
Yep. Right.
And it's not that they're trying to scare you. They're just trying to communicate.
Right.
And if we could be their voice and, help them get the word out of what they want to say, great.
Yep. That's what I tell people all the time. They're quick to label things demonic and stuff.
Yes.
Especially, we live in the Bible Belt, so it's really bad here. But just because someone gets scratched, pinched, poked, or whatever, that doesn't mean that's demonic.
No.
You're sitting there talking to something, and if it gets agitated or it feels that you're not understanding or you're not listening to it, it's going to do hey.
It wants attention.
Yeah, it's just right. Attention thing. It's saying, hey, I'm here. You're wanting to talk, but you're not listening to me. Yeah. And it's not. I don't think that the majority of the time when you get those things that it's something that's malevolent.
Right.
It's frustration.
Yeah, it's not. I was with Greg. We were doing an investigation at the Ray County Museum. There was a bunch of us there, and you know how Greg is. He loves to have fun. If you're not, his motto is, if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. Right. So we were on the second floor of this museum. We were lucky enough to have a psychic medium in our group, and she was really channeling in. And I had my therm, just panning around. Well, I didn't realize that Greg had sat down on the floor and put his back up against the wall. And I turned around and he's sitting there and he flips me off. And he's laughing and giggling. And he thought he was just funny as all get out. So I'm like, okay, yeah, you're hilarious. Well, we go down the hallway. We go into another room. And all of a sudden I hear, Natalie, come here. Yeah, come here. And I'm like, okay. He goes like, look at my back. And I'm like, what? And so we have the cameras, we have the lights. There are 2 sets of 4 scratch marks down his back that broke the skin.
Wow.
Now, the history of the museum on the second floor, down the other hallway, is a schoolroom, and inside that schoolroom is a spirit of a teacher, and she is strict. It's
Oh.
her rules. It's her way. This is how you're going to do it. And she is no bones about it. She will tell you. Well, we believe that she saw him flip me off,
Oh,
disrespectful, and who do you think you are? You
yes.
you treat that woman with respect. And
She could have got a ruler. She would have really gave it to him.
yeah. So he goes, I'm going back downstairs because something doesn't want me up here. I was like, okay. Well, we put 2 and 2 together. I'm like, dude, you just disrespected me in her eyes.
Yeah.
She taught you a lesson.
Yes. She
I
says,
said, that's what happened. You're lucky you didn't get worse.
yes.
So yeah, that museum is something else. So if you're ever at the Ray County Museum, it's in Missouri, and Paul's in the chat, so I don't know exactly which town it's in. Maybe Richmond, Missouri. Don't hold me to that, but but it was such a great experience. So definitely, if anybody is in that area, go. It's worth every moment of going in there. So that's so cool.
Jason took himself.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
He can't just do that like I can. So.
I know. Wow. Yeah. Well, we still have him on audio. Yeah, Paul. That's right. It is Richmond. So I was
outside
just
Kansas
outside of
City.
Kansas City. Yeah.
Okay.
So that was a
That's
really great museum to go in. Lots. I mean, you could be in there for hours. It was really such a cool experience. And I think we did go into because every room is a little different. There was the Black History room. There was the Civil War room. So every room has a different theme. And there was a kitchen room. And there was a little lady in there just full of piss and vinegar. That spirit, she did not like men because she didn't like her husband. And she told, so luckily Jilly, who was with us, who's a psychic medium, she's kind of like channeling her going, this is what she's saying. Well, she's a spitfire. And she's like, I'm baking. And after a few minutes of talking to her and realizing that this lady is funny, and she was telling gossip, she was gossiping about her family. Her sister's ugly. That she can't get a husband. The other sister's a slut. I mean, just like going off. We are dying. We are like, we got to stay here. Well, she was like, no, y'all need to go because I need to get back to my baking. So go. We're like, yes, ma'am.
Don't gossip about us when we're gone, please.
Right. I was just like, oh, shoot. Oh, that's right. Her name was Mabel. Mabel was in there, and she was telling all kinds of stories. Her husband's lazy, no good. Just, yeah. I had so much fun in that room.
Yeah.
With Mabel.
That's interesting.
Sorry, I had to go. I had too much Fireball.
Oh, okay.
Got fired up, huh?
Yep, fired up. Whew. Go ahead, David. Sorry.
That's okay. You're allowed to go.
That's right.
You're allowed. Just as long as you take the laptop or whatever it is in the bathroom with you.
No, my whole setup's on the kitchen table.
Oh, okay. Mine too. I'm at the kitchen table right now.
I'm in our actual studio.
This is my backdrop, which is like a screen that I got on Amazon for a porch. So
yeah, I'm the only one that's in the studio. Jason's at home today. See, I can't.
Normally, you can't mess with them.
Yeah, normally I could do that right there, and you could see me on his camera, but not today.
Jason, maybe you can have your wife like hit you on.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, she's like Michelle. She's already in bed.
Oh, okay.
It's bedtime.
It's bedtime. I get it.
Today was my wife's Friday, so.
And I threatened my kids to stay in their room and lock the doors. So
get in your room.
Go. Yeah, my son's upstairs and my daughter's at a party. So It's just me, the dog, the cats, and the tortoise.
I'm downstairs, and it's just me in here. Me and all the ghost hunting equipment.
Even better.
Yes. One of these days, I need to turn it on while we're doing the show just to see if something happens.
Yeah.
I had my little one. I had it hooked up here. Let me get it real quick. It's not on, but I have my little. It's a little skull,
Oh,
and I had it out the other night. I was on a podcast, and it went off. We were talking about something, and it went off, and I was like, okay. And then
ooh.
the next day, I was on another podcast. It went off, and I looked over, and my cat was sitting there with it, and I'm like, no, that's okay. No, no.
I got this next to me.
Ooh.
Yeah.
A spirit board. We're
I
gonna
need to get me one of those.
We're going to do a live at
we're
the
gonna
old,
do a live, yeah.
at the farmhouse with the spirit board. We're going to just see what we can get.
Cool.
See if anybody talks to us.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
That's going to be awesome. Well, you guys are going to be at the Vanish premiere in Paracon.
Yes.
That's
Look
going to be
forward to it.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can't wait.
So you're going to have a booth, all the stuff. No, yes, you are.
Huh?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, podcasters get your own booth. Yep, we already have it set
Wow.
up. I already did the outline.
Uh-oh.
We got to bring some equipment, Dave.
Uh-oh. Yeah, we didn't plan on bringing anything, so.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys will have your own stuff. So yeah, feel free to have it there and whatever y'all want to do.
Okay.
We
'Cause I
do
did-
we don't want to miss the movie though. That's
Oh
the
no,
main.
no. The movie is after the Paracon.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the movie's after the Paracon. So we're going to have speakers starting at doors open at 9, speakers start at 10, and then it goes all the way through. We're going to have contests in between. Bigfoot howling contest, best cryptid or paranormal tattoo contest. We're going to have a costume contest. And then we are actually having a tattoo artist from Stay Gold Tattoo Studio going to be there doing tattoos for people. And then after the Paracon's over, that is when the movie starts.
Oh, look at
Sounds good. Then the after party, right?
Then the after party.
And the before party. That's what Friday's for, right?
That's
Yeah,
what
we're
Friday's
Friday.
for.
Then
That's why we're
Saturday
coming a
night.
day early.
We're staying 2 days.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, I'm getting there Thursday and leaving Sunday.
We're only 4 hours away, so we're gonna drive down
Oh.
there Friday morning.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, because we'll be setting up. I know we'll be getting tattooed up on Friday and going live. And then the next day we'll have the Paracon and the Vanished premiere. So
Ooh.
that'll be cool.
Can't
Yeah,
wait.
we've been looking forward to this.
Yeah.
So
So all podcasters get a free free booth.
cool.
Oh, do we need to
Yep.
bring a table?
Nope. We have tables, chairs. You'll have
Mhm.
electricity.
So we'll just need to bring some of
Camera.
our stuff. Cameras.
Camera, microphone. Yeah, that sounds
Mhm.
good. I mean, we will knock it out.
Yeah. So just
Look forward to it.
whatever y'all want to do.
So are they going to be doing tattoos there?
Yep.
I might get me a tattoo. We ought to get a
Yep.
paranormal 411 tattoo
You should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right on our
Exact-
foreheads.
No. I would go back to work and my job would be like, oh, Dave, you used to have a job.
Oh, you used to have a job. Here's your pink slip. Okay, bye-bye.
That's it. Yeah,
Michelle's gonna be like, that better wash off.
that's right. That better not be permanent. What's the only thing that gets me about putting that on me
Foot
is
Clan says if you get a face or neck tattoo, he won't be back.
no.
Island boy.
I've got tattoos on my arms and stuff, but
Yeah,
no face
Mhm.
tattoos.
somewhere.
But the only thing that scares me about putting our logo or anything like that, even the name, is because we've had to change our name in the past. This is we started in 2012 podcasting, and we were Project Dark Corona, and it was a first American spy satellite program, Project Dark Corona, and we had coronavirus came, and so we weren't cool anymore, and we had to change our name, and then we have to start all over again.
Yeah.
He's lying. It wasn't a spy satellite. It was a 12-pack of Corona, and it was dark outside.
Yeah, that's it.
It got real dark after the 12th one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blog Talk Radio.
Yeah, we started off, it was on our cell phones as Blog Talk Radio. Yeah, that's funny.
It was wild.
Well, 30-minute episodes. Yeah. But it was we had it all set up as radio because how long have we been on like YouTube and actually with cameras and stuff? 3 years now?
3 years.
3 years, yeah. I was like, I told Jason when he was like, Dave, let's do this, man. We got to do this. I was like, I've got a made for face radio face. That's where no one is going to come and watch us. I'm telling you, it's not going to happen.
And ta-da, here you are today.
We're not doing too bad.
Yeah.
It's paying for itself. It pays for itself, and that's all we need for this to pay for itself. We're having fun. When
it stops being fun, that's when you stop.
Right.
That's it. Yeah. Since 2012, it's been fun.
We got 4 minutes, so if Natalie wants to give us out her info and everything.
Yeah. So my name is Natalie Smearman, and you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Also, you can go to Relic Films Media on Facebook and Relic Films Media Relic Films on YouTube to see all of our information. And also, we have a talk show out with Relic called Beyond the Ordinary, and that is on YouTube. We have some really cool guests, and we're talking all different kinds of stuff. Everything from cryptids to high strangeness to spirits to everything. So definitely check that out. And we have a new episode coming out every Sunday. And if you're in Alabama, definitely, or even within driving distance, come and see us on January 31st at the Gardendale Civic Center in Gardendale, Alabama for the Vanished Premiere and Paracon. And it's going to be a ton of fun. You can get your tickets on Eventbrite. You can go to paranormal411.org to get your tickets. And so, if you have any questions, definitely reach out on either Facebook or Instagram Messenger. I do talk to people. People tell me their stories, which I love, absolutely love that. And so we talk a little bit, and I get to meet people at these Paracons and festivals and conferences. And so definitely come and say hi.
Yep.
It's the best, and you meet some of the best people at the conferences. And
my gosh, yes, I love conferences because then you hear about people's stories and their experiences. And
yes,
I had a really cool experience in Fort Myers where I was speaking at, and one lady came up to me, told me her story. She goes, "I've never told anybody this story, but you encouraged me to tell you." And it turns out she has activity behind her house all the time, and to the point that they had fingerprints left on their glass.
Well, that's amazing.
Yeah, so I was like, thank you. I was so honored to had that experience where she felt comfortable enough to tell me.
Wow.
Yeah, that's one thing that I do like when we go and we get all the stories, and people will walk up and just tell us stories, or they'll flip out their phones and they'll start showing you pictures, and stuff. And it's like, man, they trusted me enough to do that. That's awesome.
It's awesome. It is. And I learned something. You always learn something from these experiences and encounters that folks have. So I'm very honored.
Yep.
And thank you both for having me on. I appreciate the invite.
We need to do it again sometime.
We're going to try to get I'll probably talk to you about it. We need Blondes and Booze on the show too.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We'll have a ton of fun.
Yes.
Yeah,
We need to
I'll
have you
message
guys
you.
on Blondes and Booze.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'd love to.
We always have a ton of fun.
Hey,
All right.
what does he say? If you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. Right.
If you're not having
There you
fun, you're not doing it right.
go. That's right. I like it.
All right. Want to thank you, Natalie, for joining us, and
Thank
I'm
you.
we're gonna have to end the stream before it gets. You
Yep.
ready?
Ready.
Say
All
bye.
right. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Do
Bye.
the hillbillies wave.
Bye.